get our hardcore acceleration here with this new turbocharged engine. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2022 Nissan Rogue SV with the all-new powertrain. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with the Rogue. Check out the inventory in the description down below. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 1.5 liter 3-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic transmission. It's good for 201 horsepower and then 225 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 28 around town and then 35 on the highway. Now let's go over the front end of the Rogue. So first off, you guys can see here with the hood design, notice how it's flat there in the center and then it comes up on either side. And then coming down below, you guys can see here with the LED accent lighting, and then you can see with the reflector LEDs for the headlights themselves, turn signals integrated up above. And then notice the venting here off to the side, it actually goes all the way through. And you can see the accenting down below. And then notice how this is like gray here at this portion. And then of course we got the Nissan smiley face with the signature Nissan logo there in the center. The newer logo that has the white trim on it. And there's the front end of the Rogue. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the design on the wheels themselves, notice how we've got the silver here on the top and then the metallic gray down below that. I think it looks fantastic. And of course, the new white Nissan logo. Here's a quick look at the front suspension. And then you can see here with the fender flare, notice it goes down into a splash guard. And then you can see the trim here all along the side. And then that continues there to the rear. Definitely interesting how that kind of is integrated into the bodywork. Now, taking a few steps back, here's our full side view, which definitely like the kind of like hips there in the back, and you know, I think it looks great. Now here's our key fob. We have our remote start, our lock, and our unlock function here on the fob itself. And then as for the hatch, it is a hydraulic opening, and we can see here with the Rogue logos here on all of the mats for the back. Notice we got a 12-volt there off to the side. Storage space is fantastic here behind the second row, and you can see more storage space underneath with the spare tire. It's another nice thing. And also got our Nissan first aid kit. Very important. But when you're done, they give you this nice handle that you just grab, throw down, and you're done. Now let's finish things up here with the rear. Again, we've got the new Nissan logo there in the center with the Rogue logo down below. And then we've got the SV all-wheel drive badge, parking sensors here at the bottom. And then notice again with the gray trim to kind of break things up. And I like that a lot more than the black plastic actually that most car manufacturers will do in the front and the rear. It makes this look just a little bit nicer, a little bit more premium. And then notice the chrome trim around the windows on top of that. Now here's the door panel. You can see with the padding at the top, and then we've got this cloth trim here in the center. Definitely love the design of that. It's interesting. Padding down below with the stitching goes across, and then look at this trim here. Pretty interesting. And then here are these seats. So you can see again cloth, and then just look at the center of the seat. Huh? See? Pretty cool. Now popping in, legroom, then headroom as well. Notice we've got some vents here for the rear, and then you've got the USBs down below, and then we've got a little storage pocket, and then pulling this down, it's cup holder armrest, which is great. Let's head to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You can see again with the padding at the top, cloth trim down below, and then the padding down below that with the stitching that goes all across. And then notice this trim all around the window controls. Got the mirror adjustments, and here's a quick look at the mirrors. And here is the front seat. So again with the darker cloth, and then you can notice the lighter green here in the center. Cool aesthetic. Power adjustments on the side of the seat. Got the pedal layout down below. And go over this in just a little bit, but it's basically for your steering. And then you can see here with the adjustment on the steering wheel, it is manual, and let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel. Pretty basic from a material standpoint around the steering wheel, but I love the grip points there for your thumbs and everything. That feels great. Paddle shifters here on the back. Got our volume controls. We've got our cruise control here on the other side. It does have adaptive cruise control, and that's what that button is for the steering assistance while you have the adaptive cruise control on. So this thing will basically drive itself on the highway for you. Turn signal, light stock, and we've got our windshield wiper stock, and there's the steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster. You guys can see you've got RPMs over there on the left side, and the right side you've got the speed, and then there in the center stack you can see there's a few different menus that you can scroll through, right, to see different bits of info here on the Rogue. You know, pretty normal stuff that most modern vehicles have. But the most exciting part is, of course, the drive mode select. So notice we got our snow off-road mode, we have our auto, and then we've got our eco, and then our sport mode as well. And there you go. Here's the center infotainment system. First off, if I pop it into reverse, there's the backup camera. We've got trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel, and resolution on the camera is actually pretty solid. Now going from that to the rest of the infotainment system, first off, response time with the screen is really solid. You guys can see pressing the buttons, right? Really good response time with all of that. And other than that, I mean, I like that they have the little buttons down here below, so it's like shortcut buttons to different functions. That's nice. And that's the infotainment system. We've got our padding with the stitching down below, and then our dual zone climate controls here for the front, and then the stop start button right there, and you can see the extra storage space here. Notice with the USB, and then we've got 12 volt right here off to the side. A couple more cup holders with this really nice trim right here. And then here's the shifter to get into gear. And then also got our parking brake here, auto hold, and then the drive mode select. And then here's our center console, which if my backpack was out of the way, then would have opened a little bit more elegantly. And then you can see again padding here on the dash. And then notice with the brown there at the top, definitely makes this look a bit more premium. There's your glove box. And then popping up to the top, lighter colored headliner, got a sunglass holder, and manual dimmer. That's all. Now here's a window sticker for the 2022 Rogue SV. So you guys can see the standard equipment. And this is something that's nice about Nissan is pretty much everything is standard on their cars with their different packages. You can see there's a couple options on this particular one, but there's your base price. There's your total MSRP, $32,040. And let's see how the new powertrain performs. Let's go over visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood. Both mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Look at those hips in the back. Throughout the rest of the rear. Let's set off. So setting off in the new Rogue. Don't worry, we'll get an acceleration later on. But we first gotta focus on you know, driving with the Rogue and see if driving dynamics have changed or anything like that. First off, ride quality. Really like it. Smooth, it's comfortable. Yeah, going over the little manhole covers, it's great. It's great from a ride quality perspective. It definitely, it just has a nice feel overall. So Nissan's done a good job with that. I like the steering wheel. Again, even though this isn't like necessarily like top-notch materials, it's got some padding to it, and it actually feels really nice in your hands. So I think that's another big plus. And the grips are really good for your fingers. It's like perfect grip on the back, and I like the width of the steering wheel too. I think that everything's just good on the steering wheel, so it's all a big plus. Taking a turn here. This is the bumpy road. This has some punch. It's weird. It's weird. In a good way. Like it's strange to feel like this much punch from a Nissan Rogue. I'm not saying the previous version of the Nissan Rogue is slow. I'll be doing a comparison video soon for you guys. And by soon, I mean, well, when I can, you know, get the comparison together for the 21 versus this 22 with the new powertrain. But yeah, it's definitely got a punch that the Rogue hasn't had before. See, train tracks. Yeah. And well, let's cross our fingers and hope this train isn't like 3 miles long. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so we are back again with driving the Rogue. Got past the whole train situation, and yeah, it was a very long train. That's all I gotta say. Very, very long train, and very tiring having to wait for said train. But I've got the Rogue now in the sport mode so that we can get our hardcore acceleration here with this new turbocharged engine. Definitely feels quicker. Definitely feels quicker. So yeah, I like it. I like it. Transmission response and all that, is identical to the previous version of the Rogue, so that all feels the same. The big difference here in from, you know, what I'm feeling, the big difference here is the fact that this just has quite a bit more punch right out of the gate. It just feels like as soon as you get out, boom, you get that torque and it just keeps moving. And I'm not saying, again, like I said, I'm not saying the previous version of the Rogue was slow by any means, but this definitely feels like it just punches harder. It really does. And so, yeah, I guess what I'd have to say is, if you want, you know, if you have the, you know, previous powertrain Rogue, if you want a little bit more power and fuel economy that's comparable, right? I mean, that's what this I don't see the downside of this powertrain, I guess, is the point that I'm really trying to make. Like, still gets great fuel economy, feels faster. There's no downside, so check one out. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2022 Nissan Rogue SV. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray for giving me some time with the SV. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in that next video.